Good afternoon everybody, and a very warm welcome to another sofa safari with us. Hope we're all doing well. This afternoon's a very gusty afternoon, so we hope that you can hear us nicely, and we'll do our best to shield the camera and the microphone from the wind. So this afternoon Brad's on camera. Up front I've got Don, he's tracking with me this afternoon. So just a few reminders that if you'd like to ask any questions, you're more than welcome at any stage. And today we're not going to change over, we're going to spend the hour with you, and if we need to go longer because of some good sightings, we'll just stop, wait a minute or so, and then we'll come live again. So the reason that we're not talking so loud, and Don didn't talk so loud, we've got an incredible, exciting afternoon for you guys. For a lot of our repeat guests that have heard of the Shumungwe Pride, we've been so fortunate that one of the Shumungwe lioness has got a cub and is in the area at the moment. Very sadly, just to give an update, her sister, who was only left over of the Shumungwes, passed away maybe 6-7 months ago, and the one lioness, the darker of the two, she's got a young cub. So Brad's going to move the camera across to her. She's lying up with the youngster. We're going to maneuver a little bit. The cub is quite nervous, but such a miracle that she's actually survived and that the youngster's here. So Brad's going to move. I'll move around a little bit, but we just need to be very respectful, especially with this little one being quite nervous. So we'll hopefully get a good view, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the history of the Shumungwes now. So we can see Mom lying there. Typical warm day. She's looking very healthy. You can see the suckle marks on her there. We estimate that little youngster, which we'll hopefully see now. Don, what do you think, 3 or 4 months?
Look like it's 4 to 3, 3 to 4 months.
So we estimate the youngster to be around 4 months old. The little one's lying in a thicket there. I'll try and maneuver for you guys shortly, just to have a better look. But the little one there, and just Don can see it looks like a little female, which is fantastic. Try go forward and let's see. There you can see the little one's face. You can see she's quite calm, but quite alerted by the vehicle. And a beautiful little face there. And so her and her mom are together now.
Just a question here from one of the viewers. Trip, who is the father likely to be?
It's very interesting. So to give you a bit of a background of the Shumungwes to start with. In 2006, this was our main pride year. There were 24 lions, and very sadly, over time, due to adults dying of bovine tuberculosis, some cubs dying, and through some very hard times, these 2 lionesses were what left. They were pushed by other prides, particularly the Ottawa pride, up into the northeastern parts of either the Sabi Sands or into the Manyaleti, and every now and again we used to see them, and I hadn't seen them for a very long time. And on one particular day, Eric was tracking with me, and we had tracks of 2 lionesses, and we weren't sure who they were. And after tracking and finding them, it turned out that it was the 2 Shumungwe females, which was absolutely fantastic. So every now and again we saw them up in the northwestern parts here, and then we got news that they were in the southern Manyaleti, and then we had news that sadly the lighter of the 2 females was dead. And then about 4 months ago, sort of in the beginning parts of lockdown, we got tracks of a lioness with a cub up here, and it turned out that it was actually one of the Shumungwe females. So I honestly don't know who the fathers are. Most likely a male from southern Manyaleti or northern Sabi Sands, so we're not 100% sure, but just incredible that she's traveled so far again with this youngster, and obviously being by herself without a big pride to protect herself. She's sort of going to live a nomadic life, hoping that this youngster makes it and the two of them can work together to hunt and survive. And who knows, this is the last of the Shumongwe gene pool, and we're really hoping that she pulls through, and is, miracle may happen that she has another litter and builds a pride again. So, the saying out in the bush, survival of the fittest. So if she's able to keep this one alive, mate again, have another litter, let's see. It'll be amazing if she does get that far. But for us, who's literally watched this pride I've seen this pride since 2001, and Don and I over the years have seen them go through the hard times and the good times, and today for us it's just so wonderful to see this female with a cub.
Cool. And do we know the sex of the cub yet?
Well, this is our very first time, and just looking at the size of the head and the body shape, from what Don can see at an angle there, it does look like a little female, which is actually really good news for us. She'll grow up with her mom, the two of them will work together. Hopefully one day when she reaches maturity at about 3.5, 4 years old, and she'll come into estrus, and they'll be able to maybe start another pride. But at this stage, it's all about mom being able to look out for this little one. The condition looks really good, so that's a positive. So we'll just have to see.
She lies down upwards. Maybe she's gonna put her head up and look at the cub.
Yeah.
So that is the main point, that we can get a shot of the and have a look at the cub itself, where she lies down in the thicket area there, because of the wind as well, because it's too much wind and she gets skittish. So we hope for her to come to join the mom, so we're gonna get a nice shot.
Awesome. Someone's asking about the Ottawa Pride. Are all 8 members accounted for?
Yes, the Ottawa Pride's all good. It's been quite a fascinating week of lions in the western sector. We've had the new Tombela males here, and one of the Ottawa females, the larger, older female, she's joined up with him and is actually mating with him, and that's a tactic perhaps to keep them away from the rest of the pride. Because if these 3 young males, get hold of the Ottawa youngsters, we're not too sure what's going to happen. So at the moment, it's very exciting here, lion-wise, because we haven't seen an interaction yet between the Tombela males and the Matimba male, but there's been a lot of roaring back and forth. So it's quite a battle going on. The Ottawas have done incredibly well. They came off a buffalo kill, then they killed a male kudu the other day. So they're looking really good.
Hopefully that helps. Is that a bit better?
Let's try reposition there to see mom's face. condition, Brad, you might be able to get a nice gap here of mom.
Right, cool. Oh yeah.
Look at that, that's beautiful.
Perfect.
Better.
Yeah, much better.
Much better view of the mom there. You can see she's in really good condition. Those massive chest muscles. You can just see by her coat that she's doing really well, and so fantastic that she's come across here for us to see. Male's a very old male, and you know his back left hip area, it's an old injury, but he carries on. I mean, it was quite incredible the footage that's doing its rounds of them killing a buffalo. He was the one that actually jumped on the back of the buffalo to pull it down. So he may walk with a limp, but when it's time to either fight or to kill, he seems to do his thing, and he does really well.
I don't know if you heard you guys earlier, but I just was asking about the age of the cub. What do you think there?
Now we're having a closer look now. I think about 4 months. Put it around 4 months. We can still see suckle marks on mom, which indicates it's still suckling, and they'll suckle for up to about 6 to 7 months before they're fully on meat. So yes, I'd say about 4 months. Within lines, and we talk about survival of the fittest, to think this pride was 24 strong down to 1 adult lioness, and now having this little one now, the hope of perhaps this pride still making it is fantastic. You know, she's just got to keep out of the way of the Ottawas. Sadly, the Ottawas were responsible for killing her mother and the other lionesses, so it's competition, so she's really got to do well. And like we were saying earlier, we're really hoping that her and this little female can duck and dive other prides and find a way to survive. So yes, this is a Shumungwe lioness, yes, her and her new youngster. It's the first time that we've seen the Shumungwe lioness since she's had a youngster, and we believe she's been hanging out northern Sabi Sands and southern Manileti, and it's fantastic that she's here now.
Is there any Mapocho or genetics in this Shumungwe pride?
The fathers, hey John, of these is the Machingalan.
Machingalan.
Yeah. So the Machingalan is the father of this lioness, The only Machinga line blood, the only Mapocho blood, sorry, is the Ottawa lionesses. That's the only Mapocho blood that's left. So the father of this lioness is the Machinga line, and the father of her cub, we're not sure. Most likely a male in the southern Manuleti.
And will this line join up with another pride?
You know, it's happened before where lionesses perhaps have been sort of adopted into a pride. When these two females were sort of just trying to survive, they had an interaction with the Ottawas once or twice, and even spent time with them at a distance. So we were thinking is perhaps there was a chance that it was going to happen, but instinctively it doesn't with lions. So they had one or two squabbles, and then they instinctively will stay by themselves if they're not blood. Let's see if the cub has moved. We can have another look there.
Together now?
Yes, they are together at the moment, down in the south of the reserve, and the one Ottawa female is with Tumbela males. Folks, I think what we're going to do, we're going to let this female and her cub stay here in peace and quiet, and Don and I are going to continue and see what else we can find this afternoon. For those folks that have seen this lioness in your previous visit, I'm sure you're very happy that she's still alive, is what we are. Get one more look here, Brad, of her looking at us. I'm going to leave her now. Just go straight to that log. She's lying just off of the log. Don can see some buffalo down in the riverbed here.
Okay, I've got another question here with regards to the Shumungwe lioness. Is she the one that's known to climb trees?
I think her and her sister both did. I'll never forget that day when we did find them. Don was also in the sighting.
Yep.
When we found them, they were in the long grass. The next thing, they went up a beautiful tree, and that's sort of how we identified them as that. And then in the next few days later, they both climbed trees. You know, often lions do have the ability to climb, either to steal kills. Getting up is not a problem. Coming down, that's a whole new story. So in that time that we found them again here, there was 3 or 4 occasions where we were fortunate enough to see them climb. The one was forced to climb because of hyenas. The other 2 occasions, I think they were climbing using it as a vantage point. Lone buffalo bulls here on the right hand side. Signal. They're ready to be back.
Yeah, we've got a bar.
There's a lone group of male buffalo. It's quite interesting on the other side there, Don. You see how they're eating the leaves? Now, if you read most books, they'll tell you that buffalo are grazers. But this time of the year where it's really dry, and any fresh shoots that are coming through for nourishment, you will see them actually browsing a bit, and you can see them there. It looks like small river bush willows that they're feeding on. We're not too far from that lioness, but I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, will that lioness try to take on a buffalo? But she won't by herself. There's no ways. These buffalo are way too strong for her. The lions need to be in numbers. And try get up into a higher area where there's better connection, guys. Side here you can see this beautiful tree, weeping bourbon, that's starting to flower now. You can see the bright green leaves coming through, the lovely reddish purplish flowers. The insects and the birds love it this time of the year, and this is sort of our first real signs of summer and spring when we start seeing these lovely colored flowers coming out. And on the birds and the insects, they love it.
They love it.
And hopefully we get some rain in the next while. We can see what the weather's doing now. It looks like some rain's coming in. Hopefully we get a really good nice downpour, and then the bush will turn again. something there that he wants to show you guys. If you have a look on the right hand side here, this depression here, you can see something's happened here. So Don is going to turn himself into that animal and he'll demonstrate what goes on here.
That is true. I just wanted something, small thing to talk about in the bush. It's not about it. Little things that we meet in the bush is what we want to talk about. Okay, have a look around this area here. Every time the very best, the lonely male come and whatever sand mark his territory, rub them feet together like that, scratching the ground. Why he do that? That is a sand mark for the very best. That this is my area. No one can come across this area. Okay, what happened? He kick it and he roll himself down and turn around and look at the danger coming.
Don, how does he roll?
He roll like that. You know,
Just checking.
yeah, and he kick it on his feet on the ground, and from there he walk away. That is sand mark his land. They're gonna send it with the way they move on. So some other developers, when they come across to this area, they're gonna realize, oh, this is somebody's territory, let me walk away or challenge him to fight. So this is what we want to talk about in the bush.
Don, can you just show us how he rolls again?
They get down here and they kick it, and from there they put the horse down and they roll themselves like that. You look in the danger coming both sides. So because otherwise, if you keep on rolling without looking at the danger, they're gonna be dead. So that's why I keep eye open. Okay, you get it?
Thanks, Don.
You make a good wildebeest, Don. You know that. I think all the female wildebeest are going to come running now.
Yeah, they're gonna follow me.
They're going to follow you. Especially the way you roll. So windy like this that they're very nervous. They generally stay a lot closer together because with its gusty wind like this is bringing so many different smells and sounds. Not the best weather for an impala to try survive. Always on the lookout, and the wind never helps because of the sounds. You also may notice that it's getting quite cool now and their coats will darken up and they can actually froth their coat up to keep themselves warmer. Being a dark color will absorb heat where a light color will reflect heat. Well, they don't when they go into the thicket like that.
Trey, we've got a request for Don performing an ostrich mating dance next.
Ostrich courtship. That's Don's speciality. How does it go, Don?
That's ostrich.
Oh, let's see. How does it go?
Let's go like that. That's the ostrich, yes.
You know who requested that.
Yeah.
That same person who requested that, don't ask about the squirrel. spotted some giraffe in the distance there. Just going to try and go down another road so we can get a closer view. The beauty of tracking with these guys, they see things that we could only dream of seeing at distance. They've got such an incredible sixth sense to find things and to see different shapes. I still can't see the giraffe, so I'm just taking John's word. You sure you saw a giraffe, John? Because I can't see giraffe. So we'll drive for about 5 minutes and the giraffe will be there. That's how far these guys can see things. Association because the nickname given to a collective noun is a journey of giraffe. You may notice that one giraffe bending down all the way to the ground. There you can see it. Possibly picking up bones and chewing on it. You know, this time of the year when it's dry and they need to find more nutrition, they actually chew on bones. We call this osteophagia. And osteophagia is basically chewing on bones to get a calcium supplement. It's quite common to see in giraffe, in particular Kruger and Nyala. You can see there that one giraffe is still there busy chewing on this bone. There we go. They don't swallow it, it may look like it, but they actually chew on it for a while, as much as they can, and then they'll actually just drop it. Towards us. When we're driving out of the bush, we don't go off-road for all the animals, just purely from an ecological ethos towards the bush. But just the way they're moving, they're going to angle towards the road, which will be fantastic. I'm still busy chewing there. Let's see if the group comes across here. Let's try and go a bit forward.
giraffe, the horns, some of them they squeal like this because it's when the time they give birth.
So basically, when giraffe give birth, what Don's saying is so true. The ossicone, or people think it's a horn, is called an ossicone. And just to give you guys an idea of the difference between an ossicone and horns. Ossicone is a bone protrusion covered in fur. Horns are bone protrusions covered in keratin. So these are ossicones, and like Don says, it's basically a crash helmet for baby giraffe when they give birth, because they literally bungee jump to life off the umbilical cord and land on their heads. And the ossicones are there to protect them from when they give birth. And then as they grow up, to identify the difference between male and female in terms of the ossicone, females have thinner horns and are hairy on top, where males' ossicones are V-shaped and are bald on top, and those become the giraffe's fighting tools. Basically like two big fists, where males will fight and compete for females that are in estrus. Around it, let's see if we can get now. There we go. There you can see two males on the right hand side and a female on the left. You can see in the ossicone the V shape versus the closed shape, hairy on top. It's a really nice big group, I know. Look at this.
What we call it a journey of giraffe. We call it a group of giraffe like this. We call it a journey of giraffe. So it's what we call it. But when they stop, they say it is a tower. But the main point is a journey of giraffe all together.
Crest here, there's no trees that have got leaves, so being a ruminant, they have a 4-chambered stomach, and they'll actually regurgitate, re-chew, and then swallow. And that's an 80-hour process, and 60% of what they eat is digested. It's quite funny watching a giraffe ruminate. It's like watching a baseball or a cricket ball go up the neck, chew, go down, and they spend this time maximizing the nutrition out of their diets. And then, like I was saying, that's an 80-hour process. And then animals with a simple stomach or one stomach chamber, like a buffalo, elephant, rhinos, zebra and warthogs, they have one stomach chamber, and that's 48-hour process, and only 45% of what they eat is digested, and their droppings tend to be very coarse, where animals that are ruminants, their droppings are very, very fine. So all group very close together. I think it's got to do with the weather conditions. On the right hand side with the youngsters here. Sorry? this one here that's still busy chewing on the bones. Get a closer look now. Busy maneuvering it in her mouth, trying to get all the calcium off. You may also notice that the giraffe are sort of, their colorations vary. There's a theory that the older the giraffe, the darker it is.
A lot of chewing going on.
Yeah. So what makes nature so incredible is that how does that giraffe know it needs a calcium supplement? Is it learned? Does the body tell it that? Is it instinctive behavior? And these are the fascinating things we often wonder out in the bush, watching animal behavior. And that's the beauty of spending time watching animals. You know, there's one thing just seeing it and ticking the box, for lack of a better word. But when you can actually sit and enjoy the animal and watch the behavior, it makes it all worthwhile. Especially when you're watching an animal like this maneuvering a piece of bone in its mouth, and just seeing the interactions between the different giraffe here.
I think this is the most I've seen together so
Yeah,
far, yeah.
it's wonderful. How many can you count now? 13 now. 13 in total.
13. Sure.
See what that giraffe is doing there. That's really interesting behavior to see. You see how that female urinated and he went to scent that urine straight away. And what he's doing there, we refer to that as phlegmon. On the left hand side there, Brad.
Yeah.
There we go. You'll see that young male, he was smelling her urine. We'll see if he does it again, and he almost opens his mouth like he's smiling. We refer to that as phlegmon. And what it is, he has an organ of Jacobson in the roof of his mouth, and he can analyze the scent in her urine to know whether she's in estrus or not. That's a very important organ for many of the species out here. It tells you so much, whether it's male, female. You'll see that he's doing it again now. You'll see when he lifts his head up, almost looks like he's making this big cheesy smile. Let's see if he does it again. Or maybe the first time possibly there was bad news, so now he's not worried about it anymore. But that organ of Jacobson is vital for, you can tell male or female, adult, sub-adult, and tell the receptive. That's how animals know when one or the other is ready for mating. And in a big group like this, you can see a few young males walking behind females and scenting them to see if they're ready for mating. And I can assure you, if one female is ready for mating, the boxing match that will start here between males will be fascinating to see. females together, and you notice the one ram in the middle. We're saying a lot of the females are showing really good signs of being pregnant now. We've got a couple of months to go. Generally after our rains, towards November, December, when there's favourable conditions for the young lambs to feed on, the grass and that. And then they'll start to synchronise their birth and almost look after their young together in nurseries. Look at that, that's beautiful. Positive, and we hope to see you out just so that we continue. And then tomorrow is a really big day. It's World Rhino Day, and it's such an important day for all of us. It's a day that we all sort of should come together from any walks of life across the globe. It's about protecting our rhinos. As many people know, our rhinos have been poached. The illegal trade of rhino horns has decimated the populations. There's only 5 rhino species left.